following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game, this is iRacing. Well, there's a couple pieces of good news as we enter round number 11 tonight of this Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series race here from the Kansas Speedway. One, there is no rain in the forecast. That's always a good thing. And two, there's a chance that we get a finish like the Cup race yesterday here tonight. But first, we got to get through this race. All 134 laps of it here this evening as we get ready for 200 miles of racing at the Kansas Speedway virtually on iRacing. I'm the captain. We welcome you in as Kevin England, as always, joining us on this Monday evening. I about called it Tuesday already. I don't want to get a day ahead of myself here, but man, have we had some great racing here these last couple of weeks, and we get to do it again tonight here on the Cup side of things. Coming off a race last week at Dover that saw some great side-by-side action, and some interesting fireworks there towards the end of the race. And will we see it again tonight? We will have to see. But Kevin, there's another Kevin that we're going to focus on here, and his name is Kevin King, being the guy that's one of the hottest on the circuit right now. And that's not just in the series, that is on mile-and-a-half tracks. Tonight going to be the fourth race on a mile-and-a-half track, and Kevin King has an average start of 1.7, an average finish of 1.3, an average running position of 1.9, has led 252 laps, or 63% of the laps ran on mile-and-a-half tracks so far this season on the Cup side. So, Kevin, does this mean we hand the trophy right now to Kevin King, or can anything happen tonight at Kansas?
Kevin K. England. You know my middle name is K.
I did not know that.
So I'm Kevin King. Give me the trophy. I'll take it.
Fair enough.
No, all seriousness, he is really showing these guys the way this year. And I thought that it would be a wide open field. We didn't know that Kevin was going to come join us this year. And then coming back in, he's really just laid down the gauntlet. But don't count out Donnie Lee. Don't count out Mike Kelly. Don't count out people like Bobby Wetzel, who are fast at this type of racetrack. So I think there's challengers to the season. Justin Fuller comes to mind. Yeah. But when you look at race by race, there's guys that exceed in certain kind of racetracks. And this track, best in the series. Best in the series. Multi-groove, different kind of corner, long run, tire drop off, little tricky coming up off the corner, the really wonky front straightaway. It's got a little bit of everything, and I think we're going to see a green flag race tonight, and I think we're going to see long runs that drivers are going to have different strategies, different tire wear, different tire strategies. Some are going to be on fresh tires quicker. It's going to be a mix tonight, for sure. It's going to be an outstanding run, and I want to see others challenge Kevin King. I want to see Tyler Dalton step up. I want to see Wesley Donaldson. I think he's a guy that can run with Kevin King. He just needs to find the consistency. So, yeah, don't hand him the trophy yet. I don't think he's there.
I agree 100%. That's why we run the races, right? I'm just going to put it out there. Yeah. But, 134 laps get ready to come up here in just a few minutes. Let's show you the point standings as we go into race number 11 here tonight. Of course, a lot longer of a season than the Xfinity side, which has literally 4 races left before the playoffs over there. But tonight, we have, of course, a lot more to race for when it is all said and done. Kevin King, of course, leading by 31 over Tyler Dalton. Chad Coleman is third in points. Mike Kelly fourth, and Richard Beasley is fifth right now in the point standings. 97 back. Josh Parker is sixth. Nelson Rivera seventh. As you look down at the bubble at the 20th position, Eric Arnold sits there now. Brian Macklin right there hanging out. Rod Alasso, Joe Hudson, and others. But as I mentioned, there's still plenty of time to go to catch up here when it's all said and done here this evening. But that's why we run this race. So obviously, yeah, a lot to do. So real quickly, I want to touch on something. I've been made aware, and I've been working on this for a little bit now, that apparently my audio it's not that loud compared to others. So just know that I'm working on it as we talk here and stuff, and I appreciate those who have been sending feedback to me. And yeah, I'm working on OBS settings and stuff as we talk even right now. So just hang with me. Appreciate the feedback and forgiveness for the technical issues. But yeah, so Kevin, you talked about this 1.5 mile track. So is this a track now after yesterday's Cup race and you know, the racing we've seen here recently? Is this a track that maybe should be the Cup finale?
Yeah, I really believe that would be an outstanding thing. The only challenge for the real world is weather, right? They're trying to run somewhere like Miami, Phoenix, where they know they're going to have sun and warmth, but this track deserves a championship run. I think it's that good.
And going off of what you're telling me, and going off of what talking to others about this, the one thing that holds me back from saying yes to this 100% is the weather. It is November at that time, and of course November in Kansas City could be 70, it could be 40, it could be 0, who knows. That's the only thing I see being a holdback here. But after yesterday's race, it's hard to argue that this is not the kind of 1.5 mile track we need. This is a track that Texas Motor Speedway needs to go get notes from. And because, you know, I mean, we quite possibly saw the best 1.5 mile race we have seen in decades, need I say, if not ever, yesterday. Yeah, I quite frankly think that this might be the track that you would want to host that finale at, but that's just me, and that's real life, of course, here.
Just do the math.
Right.
Great restarts.
Yeah.
I know there's the aero thing going on right now with this car, but still there's enough progressive banking in lanes. There's enough mix of caution. There's long green flag runs, as I was just talking about. As the track ages, it's only going to get better with tire wear and things like that. And, you know, one stupid thing about when they have a caution, it's 1.5 miles. Cautions are over pretty quickly, right? They're the perfect length for TV. And so there's a lot to love about this racetrack. Plus, it's in the heartland, so anybody coming from East Coast, West Coast, whatever, can make this racetrack. There's a lot of arguments for this raceway, for sure.
So obviously, you have to wonder what can go from that race. And of course, Jason, who's in chat, of course, Tom Carrito, getting ready to spot for Wesley Donaldson, brings up the shortening the calendar part, which kind of leads me to where I was thinking, too, is if NASCAR wanted to do its whole race each track once, except for where the big races are, you would easily shorten the schedule up to about 27 races, 25 to 27 races, which I think would be an ideal distance. I mean, because we don't need to go to Martinsville twice. We don't need, I mean, though it'd be cool. We don't need to go to Bristol twice, though it'd be cool. We don't need to go to Kansas twice. We don't need to go to, I hate to say this, Talladega twice. The only tracks we need to go to twice are Daytona, Charlotte, Darlington. Am I wrong?
I think there's a lot of arguments that could go either way. It really depends on what you love. You know, Talladega is a super exciting race. I'm not saying it's the most compelling, but I don't know, it's hard to say.
Yeah, we'll have to see though. But either way, getting ready to qualify here as we wrap up practice here in the state of Kansas. And we'll get ready to go qualifying here in just a moment. Burrito said that double headers and midweek races. The only reason that you will never see probably mid-race weeks anymore is because ratings-wise, they did not do well at all during the pandemic. At least from what I was told.
Race where they ran a Saturday and a Sunday, that was cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. From the race fan standpoint, it was amazing too. I had you got to see an ARCA race, a truck race, an Xfinity race, and 2 cup races in one weekend.
Yeah. Which then you got to wonder too, how was the crowd for both races? I mean, there's a whole bunch you have to look at, but I do agree with that. I mean,
it was great.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right, so here we go. Qualifying underway as we get ready to go racing here in Kansas. We'll get a chance to maybe talk to a driver or two here before we get to the warm-up session. As we're looking at Fuller right now on the track as we search around to see who's going to be the guy that runs the pole lap, which of course is presented by 811. Know it's below and call before you dig. 31:48, Mark Jorgensen right now putting it on the pole.
Good lap by Robert Fryer the third. He's sitting there in provisional second with Mike Kelly and Jose Gonzalez following him.
It's a line around here. What do you think? Do we go run the top? We go run the middle to get a good qualifying lap here?
You want to run the bottom when you have fresh tires, and then you want to open up the entry and turn down. I think the bottom is the place to be. Although as we watch him run the high side.
I bring that up because a lot of what I learned in Jorgensen goes with a 33. Robert Fryer to third at 33. A 30 from Gonzalez. He goes P1. The track record, by the way, for Kansas in this specific car is a 31.1 as Giles just hit the wall coming out of turn 4. Yeah. Freeze frame there. And let's see who else. Donnie Lee out here on track in the 20. He's just pulling away right now, so he's getting going. Here's Tyler Dalton just leaving pit road right now. Here's Calantoni on track, the Talking Giants 84 car. Now, one thing Burrito brings up, he said Wednesday between the All-Star and the Coke 600. First things first, put the All-Star race back at Charlotte until they fix the short track package. And run the All-Star race the night before the 600, period, just like they used to back in the 80s. As Calantoni crosses the line. And P2, 31:31.
That's a good lap for Anthony.
Yeah, very good lap.
I'm curious to see what North Wilkesboro is going to do paved. That should be interesting.
Well, and they got the tire, too, that they've brought in. They're calling it the optional tire, but I 100% agree with Clint Boyer on this. How are you calling it an optional tire when it's being mandatory to use? It's kind of a thought.
Well, I don't, what's the term mean?
I mean, well, option meaning you have another tire to use, and it's basically the rain tire set up for dry. So basically, it's a softer compound, so it'll allow passing and racing hard. But it's just like, I mean, and you know what? It's kind of funny because in open wheel racing in IndyCar is Tyler Dalton right now in the purple, and he scrapes the wall off of 4, so he'll stay P10 likely unless it didn't penalize him. Let's see. It did penalize him, so yep, he didn't move up, so he did get a 2X. But hello, Kevin King, 31:24 goes to the pole. I mean, does IndyCar call the red side wall an option tire? I don't know. I mean, it's mandatory there, but I do agree with this. It's like, if it's optional, it's not an optional tire.
That's like this aero block term. What are you talking about? Blocking's blocking.
Well, you're using the air to block instead of your car. Basically, I mean, that's something that I think Chris Buescher is probably going back and like, I should have done that. But yeah. And it's kind of weird. Another one I'll plan on you here is, what's that?
They've been doing that since they discovered drafting. So
well,
I'm kind of confused as to why it's some new thing. all of a sudden.
Donnie Leah, see if he can complete the second lap. Where's he end up on the grid? Must have been in the wall somewhere because that lap did not count. So Kevin King going to win the pole. Thanks to 811. Know what's below and call before you dig. Let's step aside and go trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, national anthem done. As we get ready to go racing on this Monday night, we look at the starting lineup here at Toto's favorite track, Kansas Speedway. Kevin King on the pole, Jose Gonzalez. Good lap there on the outside of row 1. Anthony Calantoni, Mark Jorgensen Jr. will start there on the outside of row 2. Row 3, Robert Fryer to third, Bobby Wetzel, Wesley Donaldson, and Joe Hudson in row 4. Adam Benfield, Eric Arnold in row 5. Kevin DeBrown, and the only other driver in the field with 3 top 10 finishes in all 3 of the mile-and-a-half tracks, Tyler Dalton in 12th. Brian Macklin, Charles Van Schaik in row 7. Row 8, David Comstock, Nick Jobs, Chad Coleman, Mike Montesi, row 9. Row 10, Scott Simley, Stoney Benfield, Jimmy Coleman, and Mike Kelly in row 11. Joey Jatina, Jason Karlovage back after a couple weeks off there in row 12. Kevin Stone, Justin Fuller. Rough start for him tonight. Justin Mons, Rod Mitten, Alan Wild, Nelson Rivera, E.J. O'Rourke, and Cody Giles. Richard Beasley, Donnie Leah going to start all the way back in 34th. He'll join his friend Josh Parker, who starts next to Joey Stone. 43 cars tonight. Colby, Ronalasso, Yoakum, Sigmund, Wortman, Schrader, and Gerald Livingston, who is quickly becoming the Dave Marcus of the series, if you will. If you go back to the 90s and 2000s, you remember Dave Marcus would always start in that 43rd position. Just thought of that last second. Usual iRacing default weather, 134 laps tonight, 200 miles, 3 sets of tires, 2 overtimes if needed, and who knows what's in store for us tonight in Kansas. As we come off turn 4, see the green flag in the air, the 11th race of the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series season goes green right now.
What's in store is 3 wide as they head 2 by 2 by 2 in formation into turn 1. King leads through with the 84 of Anthony Calantoni pushing him from that bottom line. He's going to come up and clear in front of the 26 just tight. And we got one against the wall out
Hudson.
there. Here goes the 949. Oh, Joe Hudson.
Hudson has crashed. No caution yet. Tyler Dalton's down on the apron.
Might not get one down there on the apron as he gets to pull away.
Not sure if Hudson got loose down the back straightaway there. Of course, I was on the drone cam, so we didn't get a chance to see it. But we stay green right now. But Tyler Dalton all the way back to 37th after that start. And tough break there for the 49 car. See here as he's running kind of on the seam there between the 19 and 20 degree banked corner. Goes up there, kisses the wall again a third time, and he and Dalton come together.
And there was 3 wide. He was trying to give room there. The 31 was outside the 91 and got up against the wall, and then tap, tap, tap.
Anthony
American
Calantoni. Calantoni to the front. Jorgensen there, second. Kevin King is falling back to third, as per usual, doing his little fallback thing. Dalton now 37th. Joe Hudson all the way back to 43rd after the first lap.
No caution when you get a car down on the apron that far away from the racetrack. If it's able to drive out of it, they're not going to see a caution. And Hudson was able to keep going. He's running right now into turn 3 as the field entering turn 3 as he exits 4. So I suspect they'll catch him, and he's somebody looking for an early caution as he drops off the racetrack and heads to pit road for services in the Ameritron Batteries Toyota.
Yeah, he might have had a meatball or something, as here comes Mark Jorgensen putting that pressure on at 84 as they race down to turn 1 and 2. So what, by the way, we kind of talked about this when we talked about the NASCAR stuff yesterday. What is so different about Kansas than the other mile and a halves, like Chicagoland or Las Vegas, that have the D-shaped oval to it? It's kind of a little thing, but it turns into a big thing when I say this. It has the longest straightaways of all the mile and a half tracks. So the corners are tighter and they're faster down the straightaways.
Yeah, there's just, it does race a little bit like Las Vegas, but one thing that you note here is drivers are comfortable. They're comfortable in the middle, they're comfortable in the outside. They got to be careful on the exit on the bottom. The car can get loose, as it does at some of these racetracks, but you can run side by side here and run hard. You can bang against another car and not have a challenge. And that's something a little bit unique about this racetrack is the progressive banking. It drives a little bit like Homestead in that manner. But you got to be careful turning in and let off early, turn in and not wear that right front tire. We do run the risk of somebody overdriving that right front and popping a tire here on a super long run. As the 49 service is done and he's down and away, coming back in to join, he's going to be several laps behind the entire field.
Yeah, it looks like 3 laps down. And the biggest difference between here and Homestead is Homestead has a lot more sweeping corners. Where Kansas here, you're in the corner and you're right back out. Where Homestead, you feel like you're turning forever in the corner before you get out there on the straightaway. That's the biggest difference. The banking is exactly the same, 18 to 20, bottom and top. So, I mean, there's a lot of specs about this track that can be similar to Homestead, but the biggest difference is the corners. As Jorgensen putting the pressure on Calantoni, who almost kissed the wall off turn 4. And look who's joining the battle here, that Milwaukee Xfinity winner, Robert Fryrie III. If you remember the Cup race last week at Dover, he was done in lap 1. And here he is, lap 8. He's looking to get the lead of this race, Kev.
Running these guys down, you got to be careful. If you run the car too hard and then you have a long run, everybody will come back to you. I think that's why Kevin just kind of paced himself there in the beginning. Calantoni, he's probably wondering if there's going to be an early caution, but he is out front, got clean air on the nose of that car, and that does help tremendously.
Back here at the 19th position, Donnie Leah is already up 15 spots from the start of this race. Now, I heard something very concerning. Donnie Leah is a modified driver. Kevin, you know modifieds very well, being one that's raced one yourself and even set up one. Modified drivers race on what? Specific tire. The right rear, correct?
Right rear. Yeah.
Right, drive it off the right rear. So, in the session earlier, Donnie's like, this is interesting. My right front's wearing more.
Yeah, this track is brutal on right front tires.
Which kind of scared me because I'm like, man, if he figures out how to get this car in the right rear, this field might be in trouble.
Well, you want to go in, you really want to back the corner up and drive from the center off down low, and the car will drive off the right rear a little more and save that right front tire.
King still there, 4th position. He's under attack as Wesley Donaldson. How about Nick Jobs having a good run here? As he is right there in the 6th position, right behind Donaldson. Eric Arnold right there. Jose Gonzalez, who's fallen back.
So, Chris, apron or no apron? What's your thought there?
At Kansas, apron I'm good with. Where I'm not good with the apron. Oh, Jason Karlavage in trouble.
Oh!
Clips the inside wall with his nose just a little bit, but off the track again. No caution, and he's going to tow himself back to pit road. So we will stay green after the Speedway Collective car goes around. Great for the driver making a return here tonight. Took a couple weeks off. Let's see.
Yeah, very similar. The car just took off coming up
Bam.
out of the corner. Nicked in the left rear. I wonder if that hit that rear tire and broke the toe link.
Yeah, Radalasso kind of finished him off there. But the one thing about this track, now, of course, this is not real life, obviously. It's iRacing. But the one thing I heard a lot yesterday was how the bottom groove, your nose would float in real life. And I wonder, that's exactly what it kind of looked like. It looked like his nose floated off turn 2, and bam, into the wall he went.
Yeah, you're really just trying to gauge how much speed you can carry, and then all of a sudden the thing just stops turning on you and it floats out to the wall. You know, you see some of these drivers also, they arc the car up. Just like Atlanta and some of these racetracks, Charlotte comes to mind, arc the car up off the bottom from the apron and come out and try and swing for the widest entry, and you slap the right side against the wall. We'll see cars brushing the wall on entry to turn 1, lap after lap here as they try to use every inch of the racetrack.
Now, earlier you asked me, apron or no apron. Here at Kansas, I am all about the apron. You do got to be careful with it because obviously you want to make sure that car above you clears you, because again, you lose your spotter on the apron. But this apron is a lot more cooperative than, say, Las Vegas, where you touch the apron there, it's almost like you're on ice skates. Kevin King is falling back here. I don't know if this is a strategy move, if this is a I'm struggling move, but he has lost the 6th position to Bobby Wetzel, who goes up and kisses the wall along with Mike Montesi. But here comes Kelly. Here comes a whole slew of cars.
Yeah, I want to say this is on purpose. You know this racetrack and you want to race till about halfway. You tell them, have at it, boys. And they'll all go around you, and then you can physically, like, something happens where the switch flips, and anybody that raced hard to moderately hard, the car just stops turning. The car really starts to push. It will not go. You have to let off all the way through the corner. Those drivers who can serve, they just zip on by later in the day. This is a racetrack that I think you're going to see trends of long green flag runs, because like I said, comfortable. The car stays in the groove. You could drive right alongside somebody, even 3 wide if you want. Oh, there's that brush against the wall.
Yeah, everybody's pretty much beating up the wall, it looks like right now through these corners. So, 18 laps are in the books here. Appreciate the viewers for checking us out here on the Captain Esports Network. Appreciate the feedback, as always, that everyone gives us. Of course, we've started up the YouTube Shorts. We've not seen those yet, as Radalasso gets the wall again. But you can check out those videos. We're sending out like 1-minute clips of like finishes of all the broadcasts we do, including this one tonight will go out tomorrow likely. We sent one out earlier today from last night's race at Nashville Super Speedway, so you can check those out if you're on YouTube. You just like you're on TikTok, you swipe, and then all of a sudden you might come across a video from the captain. Who knows? But make sure you check those out when you do. Appreciate that. And again, if you got some friends or viewers that might be interested in watching, make sure you send the link to them. As always, we appreciate all the viewers for checking us out here each and every night.
I just have to be in wonder of Donnie Lear. He's in 20th.
He's kind of stalled out because he was
Not 20th.
Oh, he's up to 10th. He's gained 24 spots. You're talking about Josh Parker's 20th.
Yeah. Josh Parker's at 20th, and he's I just that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, Donnie Lee is the one flying. 21 laps. He's up 24 spots. He's gaining more than a spot a lap. I
think this is where things settle in, and then you start to race the racetrack track. In other words, you're really caught up in that battle of the car in front of you, the car behind you. You're looking in the mirror all the time. You forget what's way ahead. And one of the things that you'll see drivers do at this racetrack is hook in behind a car and tandem for a couple laps. If there's a big gap in front of you, it doesn't help to drive past the car in front of you. Sometimes you can hook onto the back bumper if you're faster than the car in front of you and push them through that gap, and then when you get to competition ahead, you could use the draft to go on by.
Well, 22 laps so far, all, can I say it? Free of yellow flags so far in this race here at the Kansas Speedway. Let's step away for a second here from 811. Come back, get you more racing here from Kansas on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are here at the Kansas Speedway as we watch the battle for the 12th position. It's race number 11 of this Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series here from the Kansas Speedway, virtually on iRacing. The captain, Kevin England, joining you here on this Monday night as Mark Jorgensen has taken the lead of this race. He has gone by Anthony Calantoni, and Robert Friery III is wanting to go near or go past him himself, as Jorgensen, who made a rare start last night in the Xfinity side of things, here leading this race in that Mountain Dew 88. Bobby Wetzel, Kevin DeBrown, Jose Gonzalez, Eric Arnold, Justin Fuller starting to join that battle. It's just a matter of getting the run and taking it basically in this car. That's what you're trying to do here is you go down these long straightaways, you get the draft and let it pull you along. You see Kevin King still fighting with Nick Jobs here for the 5th position. Mike Kelly there behind him, and there's, man, Donnie Lee is just roaring up here through the field. Up to the 8th position now as he's right there behind Kelly. He's got Mike Montesti there in front. And now he scrapes the wall off turn 4 like everyone else. As Wesley Donaldson takes the 3rd position away from Robert Friery III as Calantoni chases the 88 down. Of course, Mark took the lead on lap number 13 from Calantoni, who led early from the outside pole. And you see Mark's been kind of controlling the lead there. You see Donaldson right on the back of the 84. Robert Friery right there. Kevin King up to 5th. He's about 2 seconds or so back. Nick Jobs, Kelly as mentioned, Donnie Lee, Macklin, and Montesi, your top 10 as you watch Wesley now make the move, goes down to the apron as we talked about. And you see how Calantoni gives him plenty of room. There are those drivers. You can call them mean, you can call them whatever names you want. But they're mean enough not to let you back on the track if you go down there. And unfortunately, that's on you. And now 3 wide and 1 and 2 here. Back with these 4 again. Wetzel, Arnold, Gonzalez, and Kevin DeBrown. All right, so Mr. England, when you come into pit road here? Huh.
Point going back to your question. I stay out till it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that other than. By the way, we were not paying attention. P1 Wesley Donaldson to the front.
He just, he took the lead a minute ago as I cut back to him as he was clearing for the lead. Let's go back and we can get you a replay really quickly of the pass there for the lead as Donaldson becomes the third leader. I had it set up, but of course my highlights update. As there goes the 91 to the bottom and clear down into turn one. So Wesley obviously doing a good job of saving those tires. And maybe that's, you go back to Kevin King and others, you wonder if that's what they're doing here, sitting back these first 30 laps of the race. And now you see Wesley's pulled away to about a second lead. And now caution. And Randy Yoakum and the 21 have wrecked. I think that's EJ O'Rourke actually in the 34, but 21 car have wrecked over here in turn one, and caution comes out for the first time, and Yoakum's car is destroyed.
Yeah, that thing looks toast.
That's just part of the track there, turn one, and the first caution. I guess you don't have to worry about the first pit stop. It's going to happen on lap 34.
Well, that's perfect timing, actually. What was that about? Just somebody arguing about an inch corner?
That looked like the Jimmy Johnson wreck yesterday almost. I mean, he gets run over by the 15 car of Alan Wild. And the 21, just an innocent bystander here. Let's watch this again from the crash cam. But it's almost like Randy gets out of the gas to get into the corner. And the 15 just runs him over here. Right there.
Yeah, I think he was trying to back the corner up and Wild didn't catch it.
I mean, the only question I have is, did the 15 at least yell 4 before he hit him?
So weird to have disparity of speed in that manner. Like, it almost feels like his foot slipped off the gas as he backed it up.
That's a good question to ask here as we are on pit road. Brian Wortman
tires.
Do his usual.
There isn't a single soul that's going to not take 4 tires here.
As looks like Jorgensen maybe, got the win off pit road there. 14-4. Good stop. All right, let's go get our pole sitter and have a word with him here. We promised we'd talk to him, so let's do that. And Mr. King's hanging way down here in the bottom of chat. Almost have to chase him down here to Topeka down here in Discord. But Kevin King joins us here, the pole sitter tonight. Congratulations on the pole. Kev, is the... Are we just kind of riding right now, or is that car struggling for you?
No, we were going way off pace because it was a fuel mileage race, so was saving fuel the entire time and had a gallon to the good. But yeah, this is what it'll turn into. I'm still gonna save some tires here, just because we only have 2 more sets and tires do make a difference here. I felt like I was catching those guys pretty quickly there. Still not pushing, so we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, it doesn't turn to one of those tire lotteries, and we can just, have a good race and not turn into just a sprint fest, because then it turns into aero blocking. So we'll see what happens here. Still got 100 laps left.
Absolutely. And of course, the way the race shaped up there, I mean, were the tires going to be able to get you to the halfway point, which I assume is what you were trying to get to?
Oh yeah, my tires, my rights, all things. This is a really tight setup. I was 80 on the right front and 90 on the right rear, which I think was probably 20% better than everyone else ahead of me. And I wasn't even shifting, so I felt like I had an easily 10th if I needed to, 10th and a half. I was more concerning myself about the fuel situation more than anything else because we still had about 35 laps or so to go in that stint. So it was not even halfway through that fuel run.
So it looks like you're going to restart in the 5th position. Obviously, mile and a halfs have been one of your many fortes so far in the series here. This is the 4th one tonight, and you're averaging just shy of a second place finish. So what is it about these kind of tracks that just kind of get you going?
I think it's just like the momentum portion of it, right? You have to be pretty consistent with your inputs, and I feel like I'm pretty good with that. So I kind of just attack every corner. Specifically here is a little different than each one, so I'm very specific in how I do things. I try to do it the same way because the way this tire is, you do it one, you make one slip up, and next thing you know, you're 10 degrees too hot, and you're plowing or loose or whatever it is. So you just have to be very consistent. And I feel like as long as you're within your realm of speed, you want to just say, hey, this is the pace I want to run, and you're comfortable with it, and it's somewhat fast. It works out. But I expect to lose some spots here because I'm not going to go very, very fast at all. And I'm sure everyone around me will run the high line and start shifting and all that fun stuff. So we'll probably be in 20th in about 5 laps or so.
Well, real quickly before you go green, yes or no, this track should host a finale in Real Life Cup?
Absolutely. I think it provides really good racing. Anything other than Phoenix, I think Phoenix is a terrible racetrack now, unfortunately. Well, it's one of my favorites, but it's terrible. But yeah, I think this racetrack or maybe some of the other ones could provide a really good race to the finale, take it away from Phoenix.
Appreciate your time, bud.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So, Kevin King, I'll get him down here to his Team Hunting channel as we get ready to go green. Pretty fair way to put it. He was more, I think, against Phoenix than he was pro Kansas on hosting the finale there. But green flag comes out with Mark Jorgensen leading. Takes the outside line. Wesley Donaldson second. Calantoni Priory to third, and Donnie Leah up here in the top 5 already after starting all the way in the back, Kev.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one to watch if he doesn't burn the car off. A lot of interesting little tidbits in that exchange. Right? I mean, you just entered into the mind of a savant there, and the way that he was thinking is, I didn't contemplate the fuel mileage thing. I just assumed that we'd have a caution somewhere along the way, but interesting to think that he was so keyed in on that.
I wondered about it, but it was like something that I just thought with tire wear, it kind of would overpower that. But hey, more power to him, and he did a good job of it. And obviously that's kind of gone out the window now, so we'll see how this all works out as you see King driving it in there to the bottom. Looks like Donnie Leah back in the corner up there just a little bit. These guys all clumped up second on back. But yeah, no, there was a lot to take in there. So you wonder if racing is just all about getting out there and driving a car and turning left. I mean, that was a lot of input right there from a driver, and pretty transparent of what he's thinking at that moment.
Well, it's interesting to think that somebody goes into a race with a specific strategy, and it's going to put them in a certain position partway through the race, and then caution comes out and changes everything, and then determine whether your strategy is going to hurt you in the long run or be negligible. In this case, he's still got the track position in fast car. He's not out of touch with the leaders, so to speak. Is Jorgensen is like NASA right now. He's got a 20 car length lead out front, but everybody behind him looks like they're running a pace lap.
Well, we say that as Donnie Leah just drove pretty much past third and fourth, drove it to the bottom, past Calantoni for second now, and the Mobile 1 car is up to second, and we got ourselves a wreck here. Justin Mons, Nick Jobs.
Leah's a short run driver, no doubt about it. He can run hard on the short run, but on the long run, I think he's going to pay the price. If he gets a late race caution and he's got track position, he's going to be tough to wrestle to the ground.
So Justin Mons, Nick Jobs. Not sure if others got involved in that, but I know at least 2 cars with damage. Bringing out the second yellow here on lap 42.
This is one of those racetracks in the beginning, after like 5-6 laps of a restart, when everybody's on top of each other and trying to take advantage of it. you just run out of real estate. But then you get stretched
Ooh.
out. He got nicked in the corner, and that did
Chad
not
Coleman
send
went
him.
around. Bradalasso was right there behind him. Did he make the contact with him?
Yeah, I believe he did. Just nicked his quarter panel. I'm not sure if the 25 was starting to get loose. Kim's in here. He's running right to him. Right here. Oh, no.
I don't know.
From the other angle, it looked like he got him, but there it was just air. That was interesting. Yeah, didn't touch him.
Well, you know what part of the track, and again, I beat the dead horse with this thing. What part of the track was he on right there? He was in the middle of the transition of 3 and 4 between the seams on 2 different bankings. And I said Radalasso. Radalasso's back here. It wasn't him. My apologies for, I saw the white monster car and thought it was him.
Stoney Benfield went down and just absolutely clocked Chad Coleman there in the middle of that.
We're going to find out who this car is. Oh, it was the 92 Rod Minton. That's who it is.
Ah.
So watch right here. You see Jobs is running between the seams in dirty air now.
Yeah.
He's already loose right there.
Loose, yeah.
He was already loose, yeah.
Trying to catch it, and the car swings back right.
Catches
And he makes it
Benefield,
up.
clips Mitten. And his cars try to avoid.
here.
Kevin Stone gets into Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman, I was just going to say this before that other caution came out.
Oh,
is that
Stoney. Ouch.
Yeah, Stoney plunked him. In the side pocket. That's what that was.
8 ball. Wow. So caution out here for the second time. All right. Let's actually take advantage of this. We'll step away for a break, come back, get you more racing here from Kansas in the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series from Kansas here on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below. Before you dig, visit nc811.org to learn more.
Let's wait. Go to the next one.
Back we are here at the Kansas Speedway. Under caution, 45 laps in the books as Mark Jorgensen leads. And our second caution out here with 89 laps to go. Of course, we talked with Kevin King during the last caution, and he brought up fuel mileage and so on and so forth. So it's going to be something we might be looking at here. As we know, cautions breed cautions. And as we're at 89 to go, if you can go 65 laps, that means you're only about 20 laps away from that window. But so far, Mark Jorgensen, Wesley Donaldson, Anthony Calantoni, those guys have spent the time up front here. But this Donnie Leah, this guy here started 34th. And all green flag has driven through the field. He has gone straight Josh Parker through the field to the front. And runs here P2. That 20 car's got some speed in her. Some other drivers who have gained track position here. Josh Parker up to 11th from the 36th spot. Mike Kelly from 22nd up to 8th. Nelson Rivera started 30th up to 17th. He got in right at the last minute of practice. So obviously a lot of comers and goers. Chad Coleman getting damage fixed, just leaving pit road. Behind the wall right now is Randy Yoakum, Jason Karlovage, and EJ O'Rourke. As we come back to the green here at lap 46, and Jorgensen doesn't go. And that was a shady restart, very shaken up here. We're probably going to have some penalized cars here.
Yeah, they're going to be 3 wide in a couple spots here because of the way things backed up. Who's going to come out the other side is hard to say here as Jorgensen gets reorganized. He's got a hard charger and Donnie Leah down to the bottom. It's a drag race into turn 3, out of turn 4. They're 3 wide right behind him as, holy cow, in the back of the pack, they are clawing for positions.
Well, obviously it got all checked up there on the restart. The leader didn't go. Now, did he get to the gas pedal before Donnie does? Because I'm not sure if they've got the Geico restart zone turned on as Leah slides up into Jorgensen almost there. But if it wasn't turned on, then they're going to be okay here. But if it was, then there would be some penalties handed out. That's why I made the comment about we might have penalties here. But it looks like everybody sorted it out. And right now, it looks like everybody gets to the top. I want to go back to
Wesley
that was
carved his way through up to second. Got Leah dropped to third with King on his inside. Now Tony still hanging tough in the top 5. And look who's in 6. Where did he come from,
Mr.
Josh Parker?
Yeah. Follow Donnie up through the field there. I'm trying to find that restart here. There it is. On my highlights here. Let's go back to this here really quickly. And I mean, obviously Jorgensen's the control car topside. And I think what he's doing is trying to prevent Donnie from launching. And look, Donnie takes off. And then checks up. And everybody checks up. And then Jorgensen launches. So
Yeah, where at the line were they?
So let's
52, 52, 52, 53.
he never checks up. So he went, I mean, he held it consistent and just waited late to go. Donnie tried to anticipate the restart.
Yeah.
Well, Wesley Donaldson's moved up to second, as you mentioned. I guess
Interesting to see these drivers making use of the high side. I would have thought on fresh tires that they would be down below.
I think it's just the momentum of that top side just works so well here. But I mean, in honesty, you're seeing all the groups kind of working out here. You're seeing the top work, you're seeing the bottom work. Now, I think the top might be wearing out more tires than the bottom is right now. But obviously, that could change later in this race. Joey Stone back here, 19th position, following the 9 of Bobby Wetzel in front of him. Joey Jatina, that 14 car. The Chesterton Ford.
I say it often enough in this track, it has it in spades. But you ride harder out in the back sometimes, just trying to claw your way for every position.
Yeah, sometimes you get a lot harder racing back there than you do in the front, and that's where you get the squirrel term that comes into play. Sometimes you get people there maybe driving a little more over their head to try to get track position, and the only thing you can kind of do is just kind of wait it out, and but at the same time try not to get lapped. Let the cars wear their tires out, and then you can kind of work your way through the pack a little bit. But obviously you just never know if or when a yellow is going to come out. But hey, one thing I have spotted, by the way, in the field tonight, Kev, look at Beasley's car. The Tide Ride has returned.
Tell you, when somebody talks about championship run, they generally don't talk about Richard Beasley, and I'm not sure if that's from the perspective of he just doesn't make enough races to be consistent. But this year, hanging in that top 10 and a legitimate threat for a championship later this year as the season winds on, if he continues on the pace that he's had. We know he's outstanding on the big racetracks, but he's holding his own all through the middle, and just every week he's been a consistent performer. Not showy, don't see him a lot in the top 10, but consistency is really paying. As the 38 of Chad Coleman, in a lot of trouble here tonight. He's coming out of turn 4 as the field rolls to the back straightaway with the damage that he had. Just trying to salvage whatever he can tonight. We'll have to see with working lap 56 whether he can figure out some way to get himself back into the hunt tonight.
Yeah, he must have a little more damage than we expect. He's got about a half second or so off the pace right now of the field. So obviously he's going to need probably a yellow or two to get some help right now. But 38th position for the 38 car, needing some help. And unfortunately, we keep bringing it up now that winless streak he's on. Goes back over 2 years. But you mentioned Richard Beasley. You wonder... Oh, Montesi clipping the wall there off too. You wonder how much Kevin King's trash talking has inspired Beasley to go. I mean, I think it's more of a friendly thing, obviously. But friendly or not, when somebody talks a little, junk at you or smack or whatever you want to call it, it fires you up a little bit.
Yeah. A little ribbon. No, one of the things too is if you're here every week and you're racing, you get your craft back, right?
Right.
It's hard to come in and race against these guys when you're not here all the time. The fact that Richard's been, here every week, I think that's got to help as the 9 up against the outside wall. Oh, holy cow, is that tight through the middle?
Yeah, Beasley come down on Benefield a little bit there. You see Van Schaik right in front, Nelson Rivera, all in this battle. These guys racing hard as, was that Friary up there in the wall? As the guy that I now call in chat, go find your shoes, Daddy. Because if I say what his initials really stand for, I will no longer be on the air, probably on YouTube. But otherwise known as Daddy said in chat, very clumped still. That's what these cars are right now. It's an acronym, Kev.
Yeah.
GFYS. Just leave it at that. Just go find your shoes.
Man, I love this racetrack. I want to be out there racing tonight. Now we get a couple laps in from the caution. Everybody can settle in. They're still racing hard.
Yeah.
See the 17 of Kevin Stone against the wall. Joey Stone making a left onto the apron to avoid all that. But now they spread out. This is long green flag territory when it gets like this.
Yeah, just 6 laps away from the halfway point here. As Mark Jorgensen continues to lead by 0.6 of a second over Wesley Donaldson, Donnie Leah. Brian Macklin has now worked his way up to the 4th position with Callan Tony 5th. Fuller's worked his way into the top 10, and then there is this absolute mess. I learned something yesterday, by the way. I gotta tell my wife this story.
Okay.
So, of course, we think of Kansas. We think of the Wizard of Oz. A place like home. Of course, the dog. Dog's name in the movie is Toto, right? If you were listening to the Fox broadcast, Mike Joy brought this up, and I was like, I'm gonna learn something new every day. So, of course, the Wizard of Oz came out around the time of World War II in that area. Of course, Germany had its issues and things like that with America. Believe it or not, the dog was supposed to be named Otto originally, and the dog was supposed to be a dachshund. But because of the whole war deal, they obviously flipped the T's and the O's and made it Toto, and brought in the dog that is in the movie. As Josh Parker, trying to get around Brian
Mike Joy story?
What's that?
Is that a Mike Joy
That's
story?
a Mike Joy story. Mike Joy's got some great stories. I mean, I could sit there and listen to him all day share stories. And people bash him for, okay, yes, the man's older and obviously does have some slip-ups and things like that, but the man's a legend on the microphone, period. But, too, his stories, I could sit there all day and listen to him. Oh, Fuller slides up into Giles. Up, freeze frame, as he catches it.
Wow,
Jay Giles on that one. How you like that?
That was a moment.
Oh, here we go with that 5 wide thing again, maybe. Hey, why not? We did it in real life. Let's do it here.
you just
You just right.
no, I don't even know what to say, right? 67 laps is halfway. We're just about there. And what I'm looking at now is how is this race shaping up? I look at certain drivers and wonder how they're doing. For example, where is Tyler Dalton? It's been an outstanding season for Tyler, but he's mired right now back in the 18th position, track position. Hard to come by. And Fuller, who we thought was going to be a threat, running down there below him. That's Tyler Dalton in the wall.
You know what
Out
I
of
wonder?
turn.
Was Tyler one of those fuel mileage guys too early in the race and gave up the track position?
Well, he had that first incident too.
Oh, that's true. Yep. I totally blanked on that. Good call.
Wonder if he had a little damage or something to the car.
Maybe. Which is interesting, because Tyler kind of struggled yesterday at Nashville too in the Xfinity race, and unfortunately got caught up in a late race accident there. Shout out to Zach Lang watching in chat. Apparently WDV's or BD's #1 fan. It's a big hashtag.
One of the things about this racetrack, you talked about it earlier, you run right behind the car in front of you, like physically on the bumper. And you might see all these cars getting sideways and catch it, but every once in a while somebody gets sideways and they lose so much speed. And when you're running in tight, somebody zigs to the left to miss and you just plunk. Right? So a pretty common occurrence at this racetrack, especially in the front stretch for some reason. Cars get loose coming up off the corner, they hit the wall, they come down across the racetrack, and you're upon them so quickly. It's just something about the way the front stretch comes down to the start-finish line and on the apron that kind of blocks your view.
I think it's somewhat. I think you get that more in Auto Club than anywhere. But I think at the same time that comes down to one, your spotter. Remember, doesn't share like, hey, 20% or one groove or whatever the terminology you like to use to tell a car, hey, he's right there on you or not. The other things you got to remember too is when you get to the apron. As by the way, Kevin King is on his way to the front as he takes the second position away from Wesley Donaldson now and starts to chase down Jorgensen as he has started to work his way past cars here. But the other thing is too, is you talk about hitting the wall and then cutting down the track. Is sometimes you're down the apron. Remember, when you get down there, it doesn't tell you a car's above you anymore. So there's so many little factors as King goes to the bottom now, trying to get that lead as he's making that bottom side work, and he's going to take it.
So impressed with this run from Jorgensen Jr.
Yeah.
You know, when you come in as a rookie to this series, it takes you probably 10, 15 races to get a sense of who's who and how they race and whatever. Tonight, certainly showing the prowess that he could be a contender himself, is to run with these guys on the long run and stay up front. But yeah, here comes Kevin, here comes Wesley down the bottom. I think Wesley wants to stay with King at this point, not let him get away.
Justin Fuller on pit road here. Not sure if this is a scheduled stop or not, but Fuller is in at lap 72, so this is 62 laps to go. Don't see any damage.
That situation where you try to pit and then hope that there's a caution and you make a lot of, I don't know. It's risky at this racetrack.
It's a 40 lap run basically. He's selecting to come to pit road at here. So, interesting call here. We'll have to see how that works out for the 51 as he gets back on track. We've got to remember this bump here in turn 1 right there where the road course is, and right there when you come back on the road course.
Yeah, pitting under green at this racetrack is going to put your laps down. Boy, a lap down.
Kevin DeBrown on pit road. There must be something to this call.
Kevin's one of those people that would be a contrarian and make it pay off. As the wind blows the camera.
Camera shake. So interesting here. The only thing I can think to this is we went green around 100 to go.
Is he going to take 4?
Hitting 40.
Yeah, 4 tires.
I mean, is this a 2-stop? I mean, are you going to 2-stop this, or are you going to go to the distance from here? That's kind of my question here. What?
Yeah.
Like, what's the strategy call here? Because you're bidding with 7 or 60 to go. You can go all the way on fuel, but do you really want to go 60 laps? Basically, and the others are going to pit probably in the next 20 or 30 and have way fresher tires. That's I'm not going to question their calls. Brian Macklin now comes to pit road, so there's obviously something to this. I don't know what, but there's something.
Yeah, I think it might be just splitting the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have enough to get to the end. And so you just look at whatever it is and you split the difference and you take the risk of not running long. So you can split the difference and use the good tires to carry the speed, or you can run all the way to the end and spend a shorter time on pit road. Maybe change 2 tires.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you only need to get a gulp of fuel. Here comes Donnie Lee underneath Jorgensen for 2nd or 3rd.
Josh Parker starting to join that battle too. Interesting.
Kevin got out. Kevin King up.
Like 4 of them just hit the wall. Hey, follow me. Pink, 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 pink.
You ever do that where you're chasing the car in front of you so hard you follow them right
almost
into
want
the
to
wall?
race.
That's what that looked like.
Wow.
Jorgensen up against the outside wall. Again, that's going to allow a couple other cars to come by. Look at Nelson Rivera. Tell you, you've been impressed with him this season. He has shown up on a bunch of different races. I think that right front on that 88 car is gone. You could see him come off of turn 4. He really had to get out of the throttle to get the car to just wait till it connected to the racetrack before he could turn out of it. And he is really struggling to cut the car to exit the corner. He needs to back the corner up a little bit to cool that right front tire off as the field starts to streak by and the 88 is in a nosedive. Now, we talked about strategy for pitting. If he was paying attention, he could have seen that some of these drivers decided they went that alternative strategy. He's got enough track position if he pits right now and gets on that other strategy, because it seems apparent that his tires are not holding up at this juncture.
Mike Montesi on pit road now. I think, I mean, at least split the run in half. So, I mean, you went green at 100, get to lap, or I'm sorry, you went green with 100 to go, lap 34, get to lap 54, or 84, I should say. That's 50 laps.
You run the risk of additional cautions the longer you run.
Right.
Because you have Fuller and Macklin and DeBrown and Hudson and Montesi and these guys running on fresh tires, 1 lap down, racing through the field. And so you have disparity in speed. All of those things we talked about here at the opening are coming true. Multi-lane, long green flag runs, yellows changing the complexion of the race, tire wear, alternative pit strategies. I think the risk of a caution later in the race with all that disparity is pretty high. So you have to hope that Fuller and some of these guys that pitted can get back to the lead lap before that caution comes.
Robert Calantoni here. These guys have been in a battle back here as they all catch Jorgensen now. So going back and forth in some of the battles here as I try to think this through myself. As Charles Van Schuyt comes to pit road here at lap 84. So this is about the halfway point of this run. Now again, I'm not sitting here trying to question like what Fuller and them are doing. know a hell of a lot better than I do what they're doing. Obviously, when I try to do something crazy, I usually do something that's completely off the map usually. So they're obviously trying something here. As you see Van Schaik doing his thing, but if these guys go as far as they can go on a tank of fuel, they're probably going another 20 laps or so to about lap 1, about 100 to 104 will be, actually that's 70 laps, let me correct myself, 94, another 10 laps or so, and these guys will be on pit road. If I knew how to count tonight, it would be good.
You want to talk about the speed difference of 33.132 for your leader, Kevin King, and it was 31 second laps for Kevin DeBrown and the...
Oh, caution!
There you go.
Jobs is spun off pit road, I think, or off the apron of pit road. Alan Wild's also involved. This is actually over in turn 3 and 4. And this just messed a few drivers up.
Yeah, I have to wonder...
Oh, look out for that front end. Would that be equipment leaving the box? Just curious. Anyways, caution comes out.
Somebody will scoop that up and take it out.
Just a thought. All right, so yeah, here's Jobs coming off pit road, because I saw him just a second ago. Trying to get up to speed, letting everybody go by here. He's still down on the apron. He's still down on the apron.
I wonder if the car had damage and he didn't want to bring it up to the racetrack.
Oh, and then he he clips the track and it spins him back up. Uh-oh. Oh, I knew it was coming.
Oh.
He got Zanardi'd, unfortunately. I hate to say that term.
Tag, you're it.
Caution comes out and the leaders are on pit road.
Why he was not up on the racetrack?
I wonder if he had a penalty or something. Ooh, Jorgensen overshoots his pit stall.
Well, I know his car was severely damaged from that earlier event. I don't know that he even had a front end.
Well, King wins the race off pit road. Wesley Donaldson, who I was about to make the comment of, was running laps about as quick as Kevin was in that long run. He's going to come out second. Brian Wortman's going to do his traditional Ollie lap here real quick and in pit. But this is the caution that people like Macklin and Kevin Brown and the 51 did not want to see. 51 of Justin Fuller.
Yeah, I think Jobs was just off the pace from the front end being gone.
As Wortman's going to come to pit road here, and we are going to step away real quick, get you another break in, and so we're past halfway here at the Kansas Speedway Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series here on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here on the Captain Esports Network, Sim500 Racing, and a reminder that, of course, you can be a part of the Sim500 family. All you have to do is check out sim500.com, and you could be racing in all the series that they have throughout the week, from the Trans Service Truck Series on Wednesday night to Friday Night Thunder to, of course, the GOAT Thursday Series, which is pretty much a preview of this series. They run the track they're going to be at basically on Monday night on the Thursday in front, basically to kind of get some practice for that. Of course, the Xfinity Series, which is going to be wrapping up here in the near future. They do Winter Series and so much more. All the info is over at the website, sim500.com. You can go read up on the history of the website and the league itself, and even take a quick glimpse of the Hall of Fame that they have there. But we're the Super Series, too. Tomorrow night, the WBD.cast Super Speedway Series there for you to check out, too. So they have racing every single night of the week at sim500.com. So we're going to have to start the debate here in the future.
Which is?
When does Kevin England run a cup race as our in-race reporter? Do we do it in Daytona? Do we do it at Talladega, Super Speedway race? You brought the idea of, you said earlier, man, I wish I could be out there at Kansas. It's like, you had my idea. My head just started moving when you said that. It's like,
I've run so many races with these guys, and I don't know. I never could find the speed. They're just so darn fast.
I have an even better idea. We're going to come to green here, and we're going to turn it up, and when we're done turning it up, I'm going to share my idea with Kev here. As we go green here at Kansas, let's turn it up. Boy, we do see some action there. Jose Gonzalez was wee into the grass there in the front straightaway, was able to save the car. And you were mentioning Jorgensen?
27th right now.
Yeah, unfortunately he's falling back. Not sure if that, he might have worked all the work out of that car.
Well, he's got to have a different race back here in traffic, but he had so much speed up front that I have to wonder if he can carve his way through. There's still plenty of time, actually.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of time here, and let's talk here for a second. The idea of mine. This has probably got Kevin scared now. So, of course, the Trans Service Truck Series on Wednesday night runs, and they're on another network on Wednesday nights. And so that opens the opportunity. So, obviously, I stream another league on Wednesday nights myself, but once we're done, I have nothing to do on Wednesday nights. So why don't we put Kevin in a truck? I'll spot for you, and we stream it.
Okay, I'm in.
What? I think that's, I mean, we can make that entertaining.
Yeah, that would, Brandon.
Anyways, so we'll have to book that one. As Parker, we almost had some WBD diecast collection here. As Parker and Donaldson about hit each other. How about Nelson Rivera? I mean, he showed up with like 5 minutes left in practice, and he's up to fourth.
I think a lot of drivers run NIS this week because they like this racetrack so much that they get plenty of practice. I'll tell you, there's a sleeper right there behind him. Anthony Calantoni has shown speed all night long. Donnie Leah still hanging there with fresh tires, I'm betting. And Mike Kelly, we have not talked about that number 2 car yet. And given how good the 22 is running, the 2 is almost always lockstep with the 2 of them. And they run side by side as they go across the stripe here to complete lap number 96. And I have to wonder if one of these 2 can get up there and wrestle away and put it in victory lane.
96 laps complete here, and you got to wonder if any of these guys can pull it off here potentially tonight at the Kansas Speedway Virtual on iRacing. Appreciate everybody joining us. I see that Bully Dog Coffee Company has joined us here. I see Voodoo Graphics and Design is here, of course, watching us. Appreciate all you guys for hanging out here tonight in the race. And you mentioned Mike Kelly. Hopefully everybody's doing okay in the Midwest tonight. Obviously, I know I haven't heard any reports, but I haven't had a chance to turn TV on in a while today. But I know there's some very, very bad storms over in that area. So hopefully everybody's doing okay over there. Of course, Mike Kelly obviously had one just miss him last week, and here he is racing tonight. So hopefully he ends up okay. I know over here where I'm at tomorrow, we're supposed to get some potential storms. So I'll let you know if, speaking of a reference to Kansas and Toto and stuff, I'll let you know if I end up on a bike in the air or something like that later on tomorrow. Donaldson trying to get the lead here.
I'm telling you, Adam Benfield, we see him come in and he is not shown. He's fast and he can run with these guys, but he has nothing to show for it so far this season. And he is charging right here, running in the 9th position. The 77 still hanging tough, and well, there's Eric Arnold running in 10th. It's just the first time we mentioned his name tonight.
It's one of the first. And Eric's doing a good job there in that 811 car. Of course, he gets loose as we say his name. And hello, Tyler Dalton. Welcome to the top 10 again.
Woo.
Robert Friery having a great run up there in the top 10. Of course, he's had some terrible luck since his win at Milwaukee last Sunday. I think it was the first caution in both races since then. But here he is tonight doing a good job running in the 9th position there. You mentioned Rivera. A lot of cars up here now. You got Joey Stone, you've got Cody Giles, Justin Mons, a lot of the Ancient World Gaming guys up here. I'm sure the lady whose name has slipped my mind, I'm sorry if she's listening or watching. I'm sure she's smiling right now, seeing her team do pretty well here.
We're missing Glenn Campbell tonight, but nice to see a good run for the Trans Service Trucking and Logistics Ford for Jimmy Coleman inside the top 20 right now. Just kind of quietly riding back there behind his teammate, Bobby Wetzel, in the 9.
I mean, you have to.
Joey Dean has not made a lot of noise. He's sitting right back there too, hanging in the back of the top 20.
I mean, come on. How do you do this? I mean, outside, Stoney Benfield's in 22nd right now. Every car from 1st to 28th is within a 1/10 of a second, 2/10 of a second of each other, except for right here at Stoney Benfield, and it's only 6/10 of a second. I mean, everybody's on top of another right now. Look at this.
Yeah, the draft is so compelling at this place that anytime you get right behind somebody, you generate some really big runs. And then there's times when you come off the corner and you really would like the car to be able to sweep up. And if you're pinned down low, you scrub the right front. So sometimes it's better to just ride out in the back for a little while, and then when it opens up, drive your way forward because you got a right front tire.
103 laps complete, 31 to go. Does Wesley Donaldson have something for Kevin? They matched lap times earlier. Wesley's looked really good here in this 91 car. He's been in the top 3 all night. Donnie Leah's right there. Uh-oh, Kevin Stone's off the track. Over here in turn 3 and 4. He's going to keep it straight and keep it green. That could have been a moment.
Yeah, he was in the grass. And just, he got a little nicked by the 88, it almost looks like.
Oh, no.
He did a full 360. Wouldn't be surprised if he has left rear damage on that car. There's something about some of these racetracks, you come off the corner and it gets almost like a buffer on the right front against the wall, and it pushes the car just a little left as you come off the straightaway, as Kevin Stone is going to take the NC811.org forward to pit lane for some service.
You got to wonder if that's maybe something with the air, probably. mean, it could be anything as he's jumped officially to his pit stall. So it looks like his night is over in the 17 as Joey Stone about made contact with Eric Arnold as they come off turn 4. Tyler Dalton is on the move here. Oh, by the way, just past Josh Parker into the 8th position as a couple cars hit the wall again off turn 4.
We should put a buzzer up there. Every time a car hits, it buzzes a ding.
If we did that, it would sound like we were playing Operation.
Yeah. This scrap out in the back is pretty...
Hey, they're everywhere. We don't have enough cameras.
Yeah, watching Patrick Colby. He's running in the 20th position right now, working with Jatina in the 9 of Wetzel.
Back here, this pack is 6 here.
Not sure what happened to the 12 of Scott Simley, just kind of pacing himself back here. I thought he would have a little more speed. Haven't seen Scott out that much, but working his way around Jimmy Coleman.
Mike Kelly trying to clear himself with Calantoni here. This is the battle for 4th now. Just not able to clear him as these guys just continue to race side by side.
Leader rundown, Kevin King is your leader here on lap 108. Wesley Donaldson, Donnie Leah, Mike Kelly, Anthony Calantoni round out your top 5. Friery, the 3rd, Dalton Benfield, Eric Arnold, and Joey Stone wrapped up your top 10. And right now, the top group has just kind of spread out some. There's about 8 to 10 car lengths between all of them, and they're all just pacing themselves at this point as the laps are ticking down, working 109 of 134 here tonight. And everybody is pretty much to that high side. Unless you're trying to make a pass, then you're going to drive down the bottom and see if you can drive off the corner.
Kevin Stone about to put Chad Coleman a lap down. This will put 34 cars still on the lead lap. And looks like behind the wall, Kevin Stone, Nick Jobs, Mike Montesi, EJ O'Rourke, Randy Oakham, Jason Karlavage. Those cars out of the race officially with 25 laps to go.
This race is brought to you by WBD Diecast. Custom Diecast. Get your car made. Trans-Service Transportation and Logistics. A history of service, a tradition of excellence. Coat Racing Diecast, home of NASCAR. Diecast, tell Charles you came from Sim500. And of course, know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. NC811.org for more information. Everything is kind of coming to an end here. Kevin King is in control. He's got a half-second lead over Wesley Donaldson. And earlier, Chris, we saw King not able to shake Donaldson. The question is Donaldson holding a little something for these guys and going to make a run at the end?
The answer is yes right now. He just ran about a 10th quicker than Kevin King that time by with 23 laps to go. So you wonder, here's Wesley going to start to drop the hammer, if you will. Towards the end of this race, we shall see as Friery runs right in the back of Benfield there. Not Benfield, Benefield. There's 2 different names there. Obviously, as they fight for the positions here, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, contact with Calantoni. And they're still hitting each other here. The 83 trying to save it. Friery in the wall. Everybody straight still. No caution.
That's the incident I was talking about where contact happens at the start-finish line and somebody plugs you. Got away with it that time. As cars are going to start to get loose, everybody's running right on the ragged edge. Right front tire isn't turning. You're on that right front, push, push, push. Then all of a sudden the car hooks and gets loose up off the corner.
That time by Stone, King, I should say, ran a 71. Donaldson a 77 there. Fastest car was actually Mike Kelly in 4th with a 66 that time by. So the top 4 all pretty much running identical times as Kelly actually gets up to Donnie Leah there as they're about to battle for the 3rd position here.
just want to say this name once during the broadcast. How about the support we get from Doug Sigmund, the Pro
Yes.
Systems Briggs Camaro, out there running right now in the 33rd position, just kind of moving along, doing his thing. Every once in a while, he has a target for some reason that just gets run into, but out here every week supporting the series.
A big shout out to Doug and all the sponsors that help out this series succeed. Obviously, as you mentioned there a few seconds ago, is Mike Kelly trying to clear Leah, slides up the track and does so, takes the third position away, so move the two up to P3 here, 19 laps. Does anybody have anything for Kevin King? And, well, will anything crazy happen? Because the one thing we talked about last night after the race, Kev, was how the cautions have gone up in this series. And I don't know if it's necessarily because of anything like disrespectful or stuff. I think it's just the racing is picking up. You know, we went into last night's race at Nashville. We literally had 0 cautions in the first 2 races ever at Nashville. And last night we broke 7.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a byproduct of the racetrack too. Nashville is one of those racetracks that you're up on the wheel all the way around the racetrack. Single groove-ish.
Yeah, it's just wild. David Comstock up to the 7th position here as he starts to catch Calantoni here in that 13 monster car. There's Dalton trying to hold off Rivera now.
Right now, everything looks calm. The trends of the race. I think you might see a caution towards the end of this, and if so, then it's going to be elbows up. I'll tell you.
Kevin McEngland, look out now.
Yeah.
Bringing out the trends of the race, folks. I mean, you want to give me a lap number?
The more of a handful it becomes, you know.
We've only had, what, 2 cautions tonight? 3 cautions?
Well, we see these cars banging off the fence, and the right front is worn, and just don't know.
Of course, last season's race here at Kansas, actually the September race in Kansas, was won here by Glenn Campbell in a race that only had 2 cautions. Mojica won the race in May that had 5, and then Byron Daly won the year before in September. It had 5. Daniel Falkingham won the next 2 that had 6 and 2. Kevin King actually won in 2021 in the summertime in a race that only had 7 cautions in it, which that was an 80-lap race, by the way, too. But we've had our average amount of cautions at about 6 in the races here at the Kansas Speedway. But this race here has definitely lived up to the Kansas mentality. We've seen fantastic racing. We've seen contact. We've seen comers and goers, and I don't think we've seen, as you mentioned, I don't think we've seen the end of the drama yet. How about Eric Arnold here? To the bottom as Justin Fuller's on pit road again.
I just saw the 5 against the outside wall in the entry to turn 2.
That would be Giles.
Look at the car that's coming in. He's always good on the long runs. He lost all that track position by being in the grass. It's the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. He's trying to fight his way back into a top 10.
He's up to the 14th position, and he is in this fight here with Benefield and others. But you just saw Eric Arnold make the pass on Donnie Leah for 4th, so Leah's car falling off. Eric Arnold having a great run tonight.
And Tyler Dalton.
Oh, Jose. Oh, they almost got into each other back here.
See the 20 of Leah doing it. Oh, they are against each other going into the corner. Arnold rubbing paint.
That's something Eric's not afraid to do.
Well, he wants to open the corner up so he could turn in, and Leah was there. They were side drafting each other at the start-finish line.
Kevin King has opened it up 2.8 seconds now over Wesley Donaldson. So Wesley's giving it that valiant effort as Donnie clips the wall there.
Yeah, right ahead of them. The 91 is using all the racetrack you can.
Jose Gonzalez is in a battle with blue cars. He's in his green and orange car, and there are blue cars all around him.
He just drove through them.
He did. Joey Cetina's starting to slide into the picture, too. Josh Parker's falling all the way back to 16th, so 81 car not cooperating with him right now.
Josh Parker, hard racer. 93, Kevin DeBrown, hard racer. This type of racetrack just does not suit their style. Gonzalez swipes the corner out of turn number 4.
Robert
You
Ferrari.
think it was Darlington, and that's next week.
Yeah, right?
Or
Throwback
Darlington
week.
took all these cars.
I've got a little surprise up my sleeve. Oh, and Calantoni gets the wall now. I've got a little surprise up my sleeve for the league next week.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell.
I didn't think about that. That would be fun.
Throwback week. Throwback track. Might put a little throwback intro in.
Oh, Jatina and Joey Stone body slam each other out of turn number 4.
Battle of the Joeys.
How you doing? Jatina had the lift coming up.
Josh Parker spun.
Oh, there it is.
Caution.
There it is.
And Kevin King just threw a soda. I don't know if he did or not. Caution comes out. I saw Parker, literally the camera on the ground, just watch Parker slide right past it. And the caution comes out, not sure who it was that was hooked against Parker.
I'll tell you, this is Donnie Lee special right here.
Who's got 2 tires up their sleeve?
What were they? 3 wide coming up off the corner there.
Colby had a run off the corner and Parker just come up the track, yeah.
Wow.
So who's going with the vegetable audible here?
I wonder if Tyler Dalton would do too.
I'm sure there's a few drivers. Let's see. They're on pit road. Let's jump to it.
I don't know if the 81 knew he was out there.
Possible. All right, look for any 9 or 10 second stop here. That's pretty much going to be your telling story here of who does 2 tires or not. I see it in the back. Leah, Comstock, Kevin King with 2 tires, Wesley Donaldson, everybody's taking 2. You think they started a trend back in Vegas?
You know, with you see the restart and you see the caution come out rather quickly, and all you really have to do is defend your territory. You don't have time to race through the pack.
So I'm seeing the top 10 cars taking 2 tires here.
Kevin McEngland called that one, didn't he?
Safe to say. We kind of had a feeling of that.
I'm telling you, this is going to be amazing.
This goes back to make you wonder, like, what the trend is that Calantoni and those guys started in Vegas when they did that 2-tire move to win. So.
Well, cross Donnie Leo off the list. Must have sped on pit road or something as he goes all the way back to end of the longest line. Might as well go in and get more tires.
Too. Yeah. All right, we'll get the field reset for you. Let's step away one last break here real quickly as you're listening or watching the Captain E Sports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are here As we're going to come to 5 laps to go, I think we're going to get a 4-lap restart. Now, Kevin, let's compare. I know real life and simulators are 2 different monsters here, but let's throw the comparisons together here. We had a overtime finish last night in which the 2 tires prevailed, but Martin Truex Jr. was on 4 tires and about got there. We're going to have 4 laps to go here when we go green. The 4 tires are back at 11th, 10th and 11th. Can they get there?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't.
But
I think there'll be some blocking. I think we will have overtime.
No strangling over here.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. Sometimes you get in these things like a Talladega style race and you run the 2 laps and everybody just runs wide open all the way through and they cross the line 3 wide. So who knows?
Let me ask this question. Progressive banking here.
Wow.
What happened?
Justin Nons in 9th.
Yeah. Progressive banking here. Does only taking 2 tires eliminate the bottom groove? Because of how tight the car, or how the loose the car is going to be, but obviously you counter it becoming tight. You wonder if that bottom becomes useless now.
My sense is when you come across the start-finish line and you go up through the gears, you're not wide open in the traditional sense, so you can run that bottom. I don't know if you want to be there when you come back to turn 1. But on the first lap, yeah, shortest path is the fastest. Oh, here we go.
This ought to
They're
be good.
beating the bumpers as they come to the start-finish line.
Kevin gets a good launch along with David Comstock, who's on the inside there in 3rd. 4 laps.
Good job. Mon's on the apron. He's sideways. They're 4 wide off the back.
That's a mess. Oh, one car. I think Kevin DeBrown just went to the infield.
Oh my God.
And caution.
And there you go.
Kevin DeBrown is wrecked and literally he's back on track here.
Somebody else out in front of him. Brown's car is just destroyed. This is 75 of Sonny Benfield. Yeah, Brown's car is done. The right rear is gone.
So caution out here, 3 laps to go. And it looks like Kevin's going to tow it back or back on the pit road 1 or 2. Let's see what happens here. I just saw him go darting towards the infield. Oh, he gets into 7.
He hits here, end of the worst place, and the car snaps around and comes back up the racetrack.
And Stoney gets into Donnie Leah, it looks like.
He hit in that pit opening. That was a massive hit.
Yeah.
The car snapped around so quickly. Yeah, when the crumbs come off the car, you know it hit hard.
Right?
Well, okay, that was the prediction. Kevin King going to race hard, 2 tires. All he had to do was keep him behind him before the yellow came out. And mission accomplished.
So Mike Kelly got up to 8th after that restart, which means he only gained like 2 spots. Eric Arnold and a couple of those guys working their way up there with the 4 tires. So this caution just hurt them big time.
It would not surprise me to see Comstock come and steal one. This season has not been anything to write about, but when you have the opportunity, we could see Comstock and King getting in, somebody else sneak by. Cal and Tony's had a fast car on the short run.
Where have I seen Kevin Kelly and David Comstock racing for the win, and Wesley Donaldson sneaking through the middle to win a race? I believe that would be Atlanta Motor Speedway, second race of the season this season. And
Hey.
look who's 1, 2, and 3 right now.
Yeah. King's got to have a good restart, which I'm sure he is deliberating in his brain right now. As good as his car's been and his craft, it's his race to lose. If he can get to turn 1 and be out in front of everybody. There is a draft down the back straightaway, but he could block.
Problem is, are you able to block that much of the track? I mean, yeah, you can go up there and block Comstock, but if Donaldson gets a run, or if Calantoni gets a run, I mean, these runs are going to come from everywhere. I mean, if somebody gets up there in that top groove and roars it off turn 4, and you're down there racing Comstock on the bottom, hypothetically, now all of a sudden you're like, all right, what do I do now? You know?
I just wonder if you want to take the top. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think the bottom's been the way to go, and I think that's what you do here.
He's got to choose the bottom for the restart.
I think if you're one of these other cars, you got to expect him to go early.
Well, and if you're Wesley Donaldson behind him, do you lay off and not push him? Hoping you'll get a draft out of turn 2. Lights are out on his car, so
I think if you're Wesley, you got to get up close to Kevin and try to time to start with him. Because if you're not able to jump them there at the restart and get around them going into 1, at least you're right there with them coming out of turn 2, and you're going to have the draft down the back straightaway.
you could always shove him into turn 1 too.
That you
That's
could do too. So, coming overtime now, 2 laps to go. Obviously, 2 restarts left. We'll have this one here, and if we need another one, we'll do it again. But Kevin King looking to lock up another win. Comstock, Donaldson, Calantoni looking to add to the list of races stolen from Kevin King on 1.5 mile tracks. We talk about Atlanta, we talk about Vegas. Yes, here we go. Kevin launches, green flag out. Good restart for Comstock. Comstock's there. They almost door each other. Comstock's on the right rear. Here he goes.
He's got to hold Kevin down.
Oh, Wesley slides up into Anthony.
Comstock
And
side right.
they're wrecking.
He's got the run.
Friery's wrecking. The whole big field, big
out
wreck.
front.
Big wreck into turn 3. Caution is out.
Oh.
Big wreck.
Oh my gosh.
And this started all the way in turn 2 and ended in turn 3. We have to feel this wiped out here. This started up there with Wesley Donaldson, who unfortunately is in it. Jimmy Coleman, Robert Friery.
You don't usually see the big one at Kansas. That was huge.
I think Tyler Dalton even got some damage from this. But this started all the way back at the beginning here. Donaldson's just going to get tight there. Loses a nose underneath Calantoni. He's going to slide up into his door. Right here. And he's going to have to check up. He gets loose, and they all just kind of slide together. Friery gets spun around with Gonzalez there. Dalton. And from there, they just... Nelson Rivera. That was big.
The 91 was loose and the 77 was loose up off the corner. The two of them.
I think the 77 had to. I think the 77 went to avoid. Yeah, and it got his car loose.
That's going to open the door for some of these drivers out in the back. While that was going on, they were physically door to door going down the backstretch for the lead. And in the entry to turn 3, King turned down, pulled ahead by a skosh, and the yellow came out.
You know what he probably did there? He probably knew the caution was coming and pulled down as far as he could go because the shortest way around to get the lead.
Yeah, situational awareness. Comstock was so close. He was actually ahead of him out of turn 2 down the back straightaway, and King rode up alongside of him and then turned down on the entry to turn 3. And he's going to control the restart one more time.
I mean, everybody's just hitting ping pong here.
Look at Beasley.
Yeah, he got nose damage there, a little center punch.
Yeah,
Simley's going backwards. There's the 35 coming in. I mean, who wasn't involved in this?
I wasn't.
Well, that's a good point.
Wow.
I mean, that took a lot of cars.
Did the 74 make it through? That's what I
He was over in turn 2. I just checked on him.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know of a good camera. Let's go to, how about Radulov? So let's just pick a driver. This is probably going to get ugly. Go helmet cam here.
The speed these cars are carrying through there, just
right. I might actually have somebody to ride with here. This ought to be good. Let's go on board Doug Sigmund.
Yeah. This is going to happen way up front. Right here. Now, do you see any smoke? No.
Now you do.
You really can't hardly tell something's going on.
Sigmund's just trying to get through it.
And then track gets blocked. There's no lane to go through.
Nah, there's really not. I mean,
Still
wait
no
a minute. There's Wortman right there, I think. Is that Wortman or is that the 15? They both have similar colors. Who is that right? That's the 15. How about
15.
that try? We got one more replay here. Let's go to the 15. Should be about to go green here in a second.
Lights are out on the pace car. They're over in turn 2, heading to the backstretch.
All right, so we'll go greener after this.
Time to watch.
Last try at a green-white checker coming up. I mean, what do you tell somebody here?
That is a mess. Oh my gosh.
Look out! We're still avoiding here.
Oh my
Coming
gosh.
through. Yep.
That is. I'm telling you that.
Good job.
That's a highlight reel right there.
I might have to make a YouTube short of that tonight or tomorrow.
Now, where does Kevin King go? Does he go right in the box? Does he go deep?
I don't know here.
I think you want to bang it right as soon as you get to the.
I think you got to go. Yeah, because I mean, if you go later, you're going to get either ran over or you're going to check everybody up, and then you're going to have people mad. So, I think you go early here and know that this is the final attempt at overtime. Here we go.
No.
He waited.
He did wait till deep in. He's
That
all
stacks
the way down.
everybody. Look at this.
What a run he got off the apron. Cleared everybody. That's exactly what he's looking for.
They are
Now
leaning on each other off too. Oh, Parker's in the wall.
Yeah, too much of a lead. Will they run him down?
Here comes Kelly to third.
Get back to the white flag here.
White flag, final lap.
He's just flat-footing it around the outside here.
Oh, what car
83
is...
sideways.
What a save!
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, now they're wrecking.
Valentinian. Oh, my.
Comstock making one last move as everybody's wrecking behind him. Not going to be able to do it as Kevin King comes off turn 4 and gets himself another one. This time, it's Kansas.
And it's Bedlam behind him.
Oh, by the way, fastest lap of the race that time by 2.
That's incredible. Beasley was almost in the top 10. He was running ninth when they came across the line, and he got caught up in that mess.
So the points leader with a major restart there. He did exactly what you said. He waited.
Yeah, waited. They really had no choice when he waited. Then everybody had to check up, and he was able to just drive right out of the gearing. And then they never got back to him. How about that save by Adam Benfield?
That was great. I'll have to show that whole replay here. But Kev, that might be the save of the year.
That was incredible.
In the series.
He was Kyle Busch sideways. Look at that.
That's pretty good.
That's cool.
That's pretty good term there. Kyle Busch sideways. I think it's a pretty good one to use. All right, let's go back to this wreck.
How do you unpack it?
It's Kansas. Once again, I mean, I think we've asked the question. Should we ask it again? Should this be the championship race in real life? Let's watch this. So this all starts. Watch this this 83 car right here. The blue car in the middle. Yo! See that thing?
It looked like a drift competition.
Right?
That really destroyed the 88's race. Did he get nicked by the 84 going in?
Oh, yeah, right there. 84
Right
got
there,
tight.
right there.
Yep.
What a save. There's no way he should have drove out of that.
And of course, final lap. Oh!
Oh, holy cow. I saw the 88 was stopped over there. I had no idea he got on its roof.
Well, as we've learned in this league, and I have confirmed this, by the way, down in chat after a race, when the white flag comes out, the brakes quit.
If you're in the bottom lane here, you just get collected and everybody gets bounced off into the...
Oh, Beasley almost got through it.
Yeah.
These cars come flying through, and there's poor Jorgensen ends up on his lid.
He had an outstanding race. To have it end that way is just so disappointing, I'm sure. There was one car sideways on the front straightaway there. At the start-finish line.
There's the save from Benefield. You're not checking up at this moment. I mean, these cars go flying by.
Crush a Mountain Dew can.
Pretty much. One last view before we go to talk to our top three. Do we get to ride on board with Benefield, who, by the way, finishes 9th after this? And let's go to the hands view.
Wow.
I mean, he had that thing full lock pretty much.
That was sprint car action there. He turned the wing into the air.
Turn right to turn left, boys. Wow. All right, finishing results. As Kevin King wins it, David Comstock second, Kelly third, Erica Arnold with a top 5, Brian Macklin with a top 5. A modified finishes 6th with Mark Schrader driving it. Robert Fryer to 3rd, 7th, Joe Hudson 8th, Adam Benfield 9th, Bobby Wetzel 10th. Alan Wild finishes 11th. Remember, by the way, Joe Hudson was in the inside wall on lap 1. Alan Wild 11th, Justin Mons 12th, Tyler Dalton 13th, Coleman 14th, who was damaged earlier, Gerald Livingston 15th in the race. And the rest of the finishing order here, Nelson Rivera 16th, Wortman, Sohn, Sigmund,
Yep.
Beasley 20th, Parker, Colby, Calantoni, Simley, Gonzalez, Benfield, Van Schaik, Jorgensen, Donaldson.
Donaldson's season has just been abysmal.
Yeah. Benefield saying in chat, thank God for my dirt background on YouTube. That said pay it off for him a little bit. Kevin Brown, 31st. Joey DeTina, 32nd. Rod Bitton, 33rd. Jimmy Coleman, 34th. Cody Giles, 35th. Justin Fuller, 36th. Donnie Leah, Kevin Stone, Nick Jobs, Mike Montesi, EJ O'Rourke, Randy Yoakum, and Jason Karlavage finishing in the 43rd position. All right, let's should be some interesting interviews. And let's talk with our third place finisher here. That would be Mr. Michael Kelly here, who finishes third here this evening. Put that late charge on with the 4 tires. Mayhem broke out there at the end of the race, as it seems to happen. And it actually worked out for you tonight.
They survived, Chris.
Right? How about that?
I mean, and I was scared, but I mean, Chuck and Scott got killed, so I guess I drew the long straw tonight.
About time, right?
Yeah, I was due.
Talk about the race. I mean, let's eliminate the last 10 laps of that race, but the racing out there, the side by side, the tire saving, just everything about that race. It's Kansas.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, iRacing sure has Kansas modeled to the real life. It's just there's so many options. Through the tire run, the car will be better in certain places. You can run high for a few laps and you can run low for a few laps. You can shift. You can't really pass a guy, but you can run, dead even with them. So with the group of guys we got here, where the majority of us can run in a pack like that, it's exhilarating. It's frustrating. I wanted to jump through the window a couple times. I had a tornado warning again while the race was going on. So, I mean, it had it all.
I said to Kev mid-race, I'm like, this guy's got storms probably coming his way, if not near him, and he's out here racing, so that must mean he's okay right now.
Well, I'm in the basement, that's all I can say.
He was prepared. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. After, wow. Obviously, you come out there in the third position down the back straightaway there as you come to the white flag. Did you think you maybe could get Kev, or was it like, all right, I'm probably up as far as I'm going to get now?
Yeah, I was just, at that point, I was figuring, I mean, maybe if there was a few more laps, I could have got the momentum up and got him because of the newer tires, but just in a 2-lap sprint, I didn't really think so. And then, of course, I'm fighting off Eric, the new daddy back there who wants to get third so he can get interviewed and brag about having a kid, oh, I procreated. But no, great. I'm just joking. He said, damn it, Mike, you're supposed to let me get the podium. So I said, I'll give you a shout out instead. So congrats to him on having a baby. And sorry I had to keep him away from the mic. But I was cussing him down the backstretch. And I don't know if he bobbled off 2 or whatever, but I got a good run into 3. And I was still mad from before because I think I was going to get second. So I was glad to get back up to third at least because I really wanted to talk to you guys tonight.
So wait a minute. You played mind games with Eric?
Never. No, never would I do that. But Eric is so aggressive, but I mean, you got to love the guy.
He ran a good race tonight.
Yeah, and he was really coming hard there at the end, too. He probably had the fastest car there at the end of that race before that yellow came out. So hats off to him, and Kevin ran a great race. So it was a lot of fun. I had some good door banging with Kevin about the middle of the race there, too.
So lo and behold, in Mike's hometown, they have a siren for him finishing third tonight. So congratulations on that, and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, shout out to John Mustian and his daughter Ashlyn, rest in peace. And shout out to Captain Esports Network. Shout out to Sim500 and everybody, all the sponsors, NC811, Trans Service, WBD Diecast, and all the admins that work so hard. And shout out to the teammates who are in the trailer crying right now. And shout out to the Smoking Hot Wife.
What kind of trailer we talk about here? Like an RV, or are we going full mobile home here?
A big Featherlight with a party room up front.
All right, look out now.
All right, we're going to go celebrate this podium. It's been a while.
Yes, you go do that. Good job, man.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Kelly celebrates and hopefully stays safe, obviously, with the tornadoes and the storms that are coming through his area now here for the next, probably overnight, I should say. But great job finishing in the third position. He is now the second driver, by the way, in the last month that has had a tornado warning in his hometown as he's racing on my stream. So, I don't know. I guess I would probably be the same way too if I had one. But
yeah, those storms tonight look
atrocious.
So hopefully everybody has battened down the hatches out there, Sioux Falls and Topeka and all those places.
Yeah, I not one that promotes other like type of YouTubes too much, but after we're done here, there are plenty of live like tornado chasers on YouTube. And if you've not ever had a chance to follow one, man, it is so humbling watching that stuff live. But that's for after this. Anyways, let's let you talk to David Comstock, who might have had flashbacks to Atlanta coming to his mind there as we had these restarts.
Yeah, sliding up here to David. David, so close with that first green-white checker. You were leading coming off of turn 2, and Kevin was able to eke out when the yellow came out and covered you. But second place finish, I know you wanted to win, but the way your season's gone, it's kind of strange. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Now you got a couple goods in a row. Is this a sign of turning the season around?
I sure hope so. Yeah, I've had not the best luck here lately when it comes to Monday nights. I've put myself in positions to be toward the front and or trying to make my way toward the front, with bad qualifyings or just whatever it may be, strategies that don't work, and you get caught up in other people's messes and stuff like that, and that's just part of racing. So finally glad to have a good couple weeks in a row, and this one here I was trying to do the best I can to guess and time Kevin's restarts, and I heard my teammates and stuff, they were on a team name they were talking about. There's some guys spinning down the back and stuff as I was leading down the back, and I was hoping that there was going to be a yellow that I can take control of the race from there and try to, for once here lately, put Kevin in the bridesmaid and he can be a queen for a week. But that didn't happen. It ended up getting right back by me, and the way that corner was going to play out, it looked like he was committed to try to clear me up off the corner, but the yellow had come out there and he had gotten back ahead of me. So it was just really, really good, just fun, hard racing at the end there with him. I've raced with him a lot in the past, off and on. So it's just like you said lately. It's just good to finally have some solid results and have a shot. The talent's always been there. It's never gone away, and so just finally glad to have some sort of good run lately.
Just got to keep yourself in contention, right? And to your point, if you run up front, you're going to get it sooner or later. It's inevitable. Well, what's it going to take to break Kevin, though? He's on such a streak right now.
He's very consistent. He's been doing this a long time, just like a lot of us have. He's got a few years, and a lot more gray hairs than I do, on me than I've got. So he's got a lot of, that amount of experience of, that time frame is huge. It's pivotal. So he knows all the quirks. He knows the ins and outs. He's very in tune with the sim here and what everything that has to offer. So I'm not as frequent as I once was, or sometimes I would like to be, but at the end of the day, I like to have fun here, and I'm glad that lately it's been more fun. So hopefully we can continue to have some fun and break through for a win here eventually.
Tell us about the race tonight, the way the car ran at this racetrack. It looked like 10 different races in one.
Yeah, there's a couple little strategies there that happened. For me, I decided at one point I was fighting tight. The car was really tight, and especially when you're so far back. A lot of dirty air. So at one point we had a yellow to where we only ran a handful of laps and burned some fuel off, to where I came back down, no tires, just filled it back up, trying to get more nose weight out of it, putting more fuel back in, and it helped it. I was able to trek back up and get back to my position and gain some there. And then we had the yellow with about 50 to go, and I had messed up. Something happened with my fueling, where it didn't fill me up all the way, so I had to come back down. All that time I had gained I thought that was it. I thought my race was over as far as like trying to, track my way to the front, and just somehow was able to get back up through everything and get towards the top 10, and about got wrecked. Nelson and I were racing really hard, and he got tied up underneath me, and my left rear it seemed like I had a target between lap 1 to lap 131. But anyways, it was definitely few little strategies, and then there at the end, you had to take 2. Everyone's seen with the way that these cars are and how the tires wear. You do 4, it takes too long for the tires to come in, and so 2 tires works just enough for those short little runs to get you to the end of the race there, especially when we got those green white checkers. So just happened to land on the right strategy despite the feeling issue, and made the right call there at the end to be up front.
Little by little, creeping through the summer, you can get yourself into this point championship. You're not out of it yet, up to 9th. And stringing together top 5s, that's the way to do it. David, tell us who helps you get to the racetrack.
Appreciate everybody at Sim500, all the league admins, for putting on everything that we have going 7 nights a week here. Sim500.com. If you're interested in any leagues, go check them out. Get signed up. A lot of good little fun runs we do. It is free to play, so come join the fun. Appreciate NC811.org for sponsoring us on Monday nights, and you guys for broadcasting. Appreciate all my teammates at Team Name, and Moss Energy, and all the fans out there.
There you go, David Comstock. 2nd place tonight, and starting to put together a solid season. We'll turn it over to Chris. He's caught up with Kevin, who's won another one here at Sim 500.
Yes, he has. He is hitting his stride at the right time here as we gets himself another win here this season, and another top 2 finish here as he is going to boost that average up a little bit more here. But Kev, tonight was not easy, it looked like, as strategies were trying to get in the way and cautions there at the end. And man, the restart before that last one, obviously a little nerve-wracking. You get a great restart there, and David's right there on your right rear and is able to kind of pull you back down the back straightaway before that caution comes out, which gets you to lead. And then talk about that little moment there, and then obviously the last restart there that you were able to get out there and get the win.
Yeah, I told David he had like one of the best restarts I've seen with how the restarts work. Like the second place person is always like in a huge disadvantage in my opinion. So he timed it perfectly, which kind of opened my eyes that I had to change it up a little bit. But yeah, I think it would have been close off of 3 and 4. I felt like I had a decent run through 3 and 4 there. I think it would have been close enough to where I could have sent it in 1 and 2 and had the bottom. But yeah, it definitely would have been not optimal to have him side by side there at the last lap. But yeah, it was good. It did a better job on the second restart. Obviously, got a little bit of help. I thought I could go a little bit later, and he jumped it just a tick, which is good because then it gave the guy in third a boost, which gave me a boost, and kind of drove away from there. But overall, it was a pretty fun race. My strategy actually worked, thank goodness. But there were some times where I was like, man, here we go. We're gonna have like track position wars with tire wars and all this fun stuff. So I'm happy that it all worked out this time.
Just listening to you talk a little bit there, when we talked to you earlier in the race, we heard how you spoke about just kind of the awareness of what was going on around you. And I think about that, and then I go back to that caution that comes out as you're side by side with David, and Kevin kind of brought it up too. He saw you kind of pull the car down to the bottom going to turn 3, and of course that you were in the lead at that moment. Was that a situational awareness type of move that you're like, all right, they're wrecking behind me, caution's coming, I need to get as far down as I can to get the shortest way around the track to get the lead? Or is that just one of those you were entering the corner like it was green anyways?
Yeah, I think for me, I just felt like the bottom just saved tire and fuel, and so I felt like running the top behind someone wasn't gonna. I mean, it was probably gonna be faster for me if I really wanted to, but it's at the risk of burning up my tires. And I would be okay giving up a tenth a lap if it meant that I'd gain half a tenth and then have better tires. So when I did want to go, then I'd have that much more pace. I felt like so. I just tried to run the bottom as much as I could in 5th gear, which wasn't super fun. It was super bogged down there, but I knew that if I just kept to what I knew would work, I got demolished in a NIS earlier this week, thinking I could run fourth gear and run a certain pace, and I just was very, very slow. So, talked to Omar. Omar's a good friend of mine. He was really fast, and I asked him for some tips and showed me a line to run if I needed to run a little higher than the bottom. And it worked out pretty well, I felt like. And yeah, I just, eventually try to get as clean as air as possible, as much as I could throughout the race. And at the very end, just kind of up the pace a little bit to see if that would work out. So
it definitely did, man. You've now pulled out 2 straight weeks of pole and win here in the series as you pick up win number 4 now already. It just feels like yesterday you were finally getting that first one at Homestead, but here you've pulled out 4 since Easter as we go to Darlington next week. So the question is, can you keep the momentum going all the way through Charlotte?
Darlington's pretty good. I feel like I have a good knack for that track, but we'll see what the setup's like and what the racing is like. Hopefully it's a super hot track or not at night so it falls off. So there's some pace advantage there to be had if you're easy on the tires. But I feel like Darlington is one of those tracks where you have to race the track. Obviously everyone says that, but it's really important to kind of maintain the pace that you have while not destroying your tires a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see. And then Charlotte, I don't know. I haven't raced Charlotte in so long that I forget what it drives like, but I imagine it's going to be a lot of aero blocking and people running the high side, and track position obviously is going to be key. But I think Darlington, you might see some comers and goers a little bit more so than normal, which would be fun. I just hope we get some green flag racing, man. We've had some green flag racing to start, and for whatever reason, we were halfway through that run and some yellows flew. It's just, that's kind of what I feel like creates a change in mentality there. People go from a certain mindset of racing to like, okay, well, now that's out the window. I need to switch gears, and it kind of creates more issues. So hopefully we can figure that out and have some longer runs at Darlington. I think if you do see that, we might see some pretty good racing. Some guys that are really good on tires will come to the front, and maybe some guys who are a little hard might fall to the back, and hopefully yellows don't save them. So hopefully it'll be fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
I want to thank, shout out, actually, you know who I'm going to shout out, the one and only Richard Beasley. I felt like a very good race for him.
He did.
He was going to be in the top 10, but unfortunately, Benefield decided that he needed to go finish where he was running all race, so he finished 20th, which I think will, it kind of overcomes what he finished last week, which was too high in my opinion. But Beasley did a great job. He did a great job, all things considered. He told me he wasn't going to be very fast, and it is one of those tracks that is pretty tough. But I felt like overall everyone did a good job. Shout out to Kenny Humpy. He's been hating on me all night in my stream, so I appreciate him for being the little devil in my ear. But you guys doing a great job. Can't wait to go see the broadcast. Appreciate what you guys do every week, and thanks to Joey and the guys for dealing with all the people. We're having some fun. So appreciate you guys.
Did Beasley mention the save that Benfield made?
Yeah, the save. Benefield made some pretty good saves. People were helping him push forward, but then I watched Beasley, and Beasley didn't save it very much because, as you know, Beasley is only very good at super speedways. So if he has to turn left or right in a super fast manner, like he just gets all out of whack. I felt like once he got a little bit yawed out, I think his maximum save range is about 2 o'clock to like 10 o'clock. Anything beyond that, he's just done for. And I think he got to like 3 o'clock, and that was it. So I'm watching it now in slow motion. He was doing what he could for what he got going on. I would have loved to see. I've seen Beasley race before, and I would have loved to see like the Ricky Rudds in the background, watching him saving that thing the entire time. He did a great job for not wrecking, but I felt like he definitely finished where I felt like he should have.
So
I'll make sure he knows about that.
What I'm getting out of this is you're saying Beasley's wheels at like only 360 degrees.
Yeah, at most, because he's got like the super ginormous bus wheel, so he can't turn it fast anyways. He's just out there. We have a term for him, and it's not like a bad term, but it's a certain term. He's a Sunday nighter. So if he asks you what that means, he'll know what that means. He's basically a Sunday nighter at this point of his career. So for him to get to that point was super impressive for him. But yeah, I definitely can let him know that he finished 20th. So
yeah, there you go. Great job tonight, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Me too. Kevin King, the winner here tonight, and we'll go ahead and just shoot him down there. I'm sure he's wanting to go down there and join them. So he's got me over here laughing so hard I'm in tears. what a race that was. Obviously, yeah, the few cautions there at the end, but that's part of racing here. And another spectacular finish here at Kansas Speedway. As you heard Kevin mention, next week it's the Darlington Raceway, which is one of my favorite tracks, honestly. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that track puts out there. Of course, as you know, every race but a couple usually are the middle of the daytime and hot. So that means Darlington is going to be all kinds of slick. And cannot wait to watch that race next week.
It's going to be a blast. That racetrack is just so complicated because to find speed, you really have to, I don't know, you have to figure out the finesse every lap because you go in the corner and the car never runs through the corner the same way any lap. Every lap is a little bit different, and you physically have to drive it out of the corner based on what it gives you. So I think Kevin hit it spot on. It's a driver's track, and I expect to see a different cast of characters playing in that run next weekend. And somebody's got to come in and knock them off. And I think that would be the type of racetrack where you might see it happen.
We shall see next week. Kevin, man, appreciate you joining as always. Go get some rest, and we'll talk at the Lady in Black next week.
I'm Kevin King. Can I call Omar? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, right? I mean, I want some tips from Omar.
We established I'm Kevin King.
This is true.
Huh.
Call Kevin. You can call anybody. Call Omar. I mean, I'm sure you can get plenty of advice from some people. But I do appreciate it, though, Kev.
Actually, the guy I think I want to call is Ray Afala.
That's a good
I
call.
want to see if he remembers me. That would be an interesting phone call. Anyway.
Do I know you?
This is one of those. Squirrel. Squirrel. I'm a rambling man. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Get off the interstate. Nice. Kevin England, appreciate him as always for joining us here. Oh, man. As big shout out to NC811 for sponsoring this series, as always. And a big shout out to, of course, Joey and all the admins again from Sim500 for allowing us to be a part of the series each and every week here on the Captain Esports Network. As Kevin King has gone to victory lane here again at the Kansas Speedway, another mile and a half and another win for him. As we stall here for a second, because I'm actually going to throw the points to you. I remembered last night after I got off the air, I'm like, I didn't show the points last night. So I want to make sure I get it to you guys here this evening after 11 races here in the regular season. The points are just like this. Kevin King leads by 48 now over Tyler Dalton, Chad Coleman, Mike Kelly, Richard Beasley are top 5. Beasley's up to 5th in points. Look out. Eric Arnold up 8 spots at 12th. That'll make him pretty happy there. Kevin Brown 20th now in on the bubble, tied with Robert Friery. So there you go. That's how the points look. Let's head out and enjoy the rest of your Monday night. Enjoy your week. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.